this is Christina from Sweet Pea Births. My husband Bruce and I teach childbirth classes here in Chandler, Arizona. And today I'm going to share with you my top 5 holiday safety tips for those of you with crawlers or early walkers. And really, I mean, these are good things to keep in mind for your family as they grow anyway. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is to look for some child-safe ornaments. And you're probably wondering, I'm going to show you a toilet tube. This is not going to go on my tree. However, a toilet tube is a great way of measuring items to see if they're safe for your child or not. If they can pass through the toilet tube, they're thin enough to be swallowed by your baby. Now obviously this angel, you know, your baby's not going to get this whole angel down their throat. However, just to show you an example, she is narrow enough to pass through the tube. So anything that's this narrow, you want to keep in mind, you know, if it can pass through, it's a potential choking hazard if it's something smaller. And you can see here that we have another angel that we put on our tree. She doesn't, so something like this is probably not as much of a choking hazard as something that can pass through. Obviously, like I said, your baby's not going to swallow a toilet tube size angel, but you can see the size could be a potential hazard if it's something smaller. Some other ideas for child safe things that are not going to break. And here's a metal ornament that we use. Here are some oversized, again, a star. It's paper and glitter. We can use something that you can decorate with silk flowers, and this has a clip on it so it clips to your tree. And then here's another idea. You know, these are some pretty ornaments. I bought these when Puma was having her first Christmas. They're pretty, but they're not made of glass. So we used to have some glass ornaments, and after breaking a couple of those on the ground, we switched completely, and no more glass for the Bowman family. So just look for ornaments that are safe for your sweet peas. Okay, the second thing I want to remind you of is that gravity does not take a vacation. You know, maybe you're having a vacation from your work, or you're having family come in for vacation, but gravity does not take a vacation. We learned this the hard way. Again, poor Puma. We used to have these stocking hangers, the heavy ones that sit on a mantle. Well, much to our surprise and utter dismay, she was able to pull a stocking on top of her head, and the stocking holder came right on top of her, and she had a big old goose egg on her. She's laughing as I tell the story. She had a big old goose egg on her forehead, reminding us of what bad parents we were for about a week. So just remember that anything that your sweet pea, especially if they're early walkers or crawlers, anything that they can reach up, they don't know that it's attached or not attached. A table looks the same to them as a table runner. So this may be a season where you keep everything on top of the table, so watch tablecloths, table runners, dangling strings of lights, anything hot. You don't want to put hot things on anything that a little one could pull up on and accidentally pull over the whole display or the whole tablecloth, table setting over on top of their head. So gravity doesn't take a vacation. The third thing is make sure that you are watching your cords and outlets. You know, we unpack these things once a year. You know, maybe during the regular year we have everything nicely blocked off with those child safety covers that plug into the wall. When those start coming off to plug in holiday things, that's new and exciting for your children. Wow, what's this? It's a cord, it's a light. You know, they don't know that there's electricity tied to it. So just watch your children. If you're removing those outlets, you know, maybe if they're old, even if they're not old enough, I'm a big fan of talking to them, even if you don't know if they understand you or not. It's getting in there, I think. So just explain to them and then watch them. The fourth thing I like to explain to parents is, you know, watch your plants. You know, I'm going to put a link down in the comments. Sometimes there are common household plants that we don't really think about until our babies start putting things in their mouth, and then it's like, oh my gosh, is that safe for them? So check out that list, see if anything in your house is potentially a safety hazard for your sweet pea, and if it is, replace it, give it away. Maybe you re-gift that to somebody else and replace it with something that's safe for your little one. And the last thing, the fifth thing I want to remind you of is that heat, hot, hot, hot in the kitchen. You know, in the holidays, we're carrying around hot pots or taking things out of the oven. You know, back in the day, maybe when you were younger, you had a designated driver when you went out for holiday parties. When you are now hosting your own holiday parties in your home, have a designated childminder, a child watcher. You know, one parent or two parents, that their sole job is to keep an eye on the kids, make sure they're safe, maybe keep activities out of the kitchen, or if your children are starting to help in the kitchen, somebody whose only job is to watch the kids, make sure that they're watching out for hot ovens or things coming off the stove. So enjoy your holidays this year with your sweet peas. I do want to end with a little just mindfulness, mentioning that keep in mind, you know, all of us with small children are enjoying the holidays and reliving the holidays through their eyes, remember this season that there are some families who are there with empty arms. Maybe they had a child loss or a pregnancy loss this year. Don't be afraid to ask them, how are you doing? How old would your baby have been? And, I'm sorry they're not here with you. We'll be thinking of you as you celebrate your holidays. Take time to just acknowledge those babies and those children that are no longer with us, and remind them that even in all the joy, there are people that remember their pain. So have a safe holiday with your sweet peas. Leave me a comment down below and tell me how you're going to be childproofing your holidays for your sweet peas. All right? Have a great week. We'll see you next time.